Okay, so I found a website that sort of gathered most of these screenshots in a better resolution than they were on the Pokemon website. So we'll skim over these and see if we can spot some details or do some predictions or just talk about what we feel about screenshots that we have here. So I'm going to switch to the screens. I'll switch here. Obviously, this is the painting with the 3-star Pokemon, which we already discussed in the first video I did on the subject, but they do seem intriguing, to be honest. I would really go with the Fire Crocodile because it's a very interesting combination and I really like fire types, but the grass type starter is also very adorable. Thing we should wonder about is, will it be a cat that stays on 4 paws, or will it be like in the Alola region, on which Incineroar evolves, well, the cat Pokemon evolves in Incineroar, which is this big wrestling sort of thing that stands on 2 legs, which I'm sure hasn't been the favorite of most people, even though it was firefighting typing, which is a pretty decent combination. But we'll have to see if the evolution line in this stays on 4 paws. And Crocodile, I don't know, seems like it'll be, or at least I feel like it'll be sort of like Feraligatr in Johto, but then like sort of with a different color scheme, and for the most part it'll be a crocodile that will evolve and gets bigger and bigger, and I assume it'll be similar to Feraligatr, which was my favorite Pokemon in Johto, to be honest, which was a water type, which is interesting. And then of course, yes, the duck is a duck. I am interested to see how it will evolve, because I don't know if there's a lot you can do with a duck that evolves. I mean, you can make it bigger, but I don't actually think we actually had a duck Pokemon in the game before. I mean, I'm sure we had some, but not with a triple evolution line. Then again, we don't know if they will have 2 evolution forms, so it might be different in this game. But I'm not sure how they would do a duck evolution. But it looks cute either way. I really like what it did with the hair. Okay. Then we have the Switch with that. I mean, it's like a different color scheme than switches we are used to. More like a metallic chrome sort of look, but I don't think it makes a difference or it tells anything about what the game will be about or what it will look like. Obviously the room, same idea. There is a bit of a map here, which I assume is a map of either the region or the continent it is placed on, but it is not in frame, so we can't really figure that out. Furthermore, it just looks like a regular interior formation. We don't have a room with shelves full of trophies like they had for Leon and Sword and Shield, but a rival hasn't been announced, or we haven't seen anything about a rival as well, so. And obviously the same picture, but then with the main character. I mean, I like the male model, but the female model looks a bit meh. I'm sure we'll find it in the screenshots here as well, but the female protagonist might be one of the least good looking ones that I've seen before, especially if you can see, or if you see how much details in the rest of the game. But we are talking about trailer footage, of course, so this might change. Again, here we have the other interior room. We take a look at the paintings. Looks like a very Mediterranean style, like the things on the patterns on the wall. And then, like, we have this painting, and this painting with this just looks like a flower. We have a dancing woman, then we have windmills, a bit of a tiny village, but there's not much else we can take out of these pictures or paintings, so we'll skip that as well. We have like 2 boxes over there next to the staircase, so it might be a story sort of thing like it was in Ruby and Sapphire. We just moved out, or we just moved in, I should say, and we get in the van or on the boat and get to the house. Seems like moving boxes, but speculation, I assume. Then we have the female protagonist, not very detailed in frame here, but let's take a look at all the other stuff. I figure this is the pathway that leads up to the building that we will see in one of the other screenshots, but then I imagine, will the building in the back be our house? Like our starter house? Because if it is, damn, our mom must be rich. That looks really big, like a really big mansion sort of place and a really cool area. That might also be more of a trainer school and not the main house we live in. But I would assume that this path leads up to the other building, and I assume that building will be the Pokemon Research Lab, as we've seen in most of the other generations. So this one, I mean, yeah. So I assume that this is the pathway down here. And that this is like the research lab, I don't know. It might be. Or this is our neighbor and we live in the other building, but it seems to be in the frame a lot, so I would assume this is a research lab. That looks amazing, which is also on the edge of an island. The whole area and the region this is in looks amazing. What's this? We've got pumpkins, or they've got pumpkins in the garden. A lot of herbs and fruits and vegetables, and we have oranges in the tree, I assume. So orange trees, very Spanish again. And then of course the architecture is very Spanish too. We've got palm trees. It looks really nice. And then again, I assume this will be the pathway that leads either to our house or to the neighbor's house or stuff like that. If don't think there's anything else we can get out of this. No, it doesn't seem like there's any information or hidden Pokemon or something. I don't know. I'm just looking for this stuff right now. But it don't seem that there is much. It looks like a very green area, that's for sure. Okay, that's the same picture button without the protagonist in the frame. Not much else here. Looks like a sheath and I don't know, an apron or something that is hanging on the washing line. Got a little crane at the wall over there. Very southern atmosphere again, but not much else there. Then this, of course, this looks like the big main city we have, in which the big building with the big Pokeball is probably located. This looks so big. Then I also wonder what the tower is over here, because this looks like a very specific sort of thing. This immediately makes me think about one of the buildings of the evil team in a Pokemon game. I'm not sure why. And this looks really big, and then we have the plaza. Again, we have all of the Pokemon types on the floor. So that's also interesting. I wonder why they do that. So this is the same building that I assume will be the research lab, but from a different perspective. Not much else to see here, except for the area and the region again. Looks like there are a lot of big mountains over there to the right, so I wonder if it says it's an open world game, we could actually go on top of those mountains and how we would get there. Can we like get a flying Pokemon to fly us up? Is that how massive this world will be? Or will it be a bit more mainstream? We'll have to see. But this does make me sort of excited, because if they say open world, you can go anywhere and you have flying Pokemon, it would be so cool to just jump on top of your flying Pokemon and get on top of the mountain. That seems like a big thing. Anything else? Okay, then we have the main city again, but from a different perspective. Again, with the sort of Spanish southern sort of architecture, big plaza, a lot of terrace outside. Not much else to see here, I imagine. I might miss a lot of things over here, but I don't see anything that might be of value right now, except for the fact that it looks really big and nice. Okay, moving on. So this is the plaza again. As you can see, we have the different attributes on the floor, which seems interesting. There must be a reason why they have a big giant ring next to a battlefield that has all of the Pokemon attributes. Interesting, I assume. I assume you have also access to like shops, because this looks like a shop and this looks like a shop. If it's open world, again, if they pull through and you can go anywhere and do whatever you want, seems fun to just go grab a bite in one of the restaurants or buy clothes, which we can do in most of the Pokemon games, that's true, but open world seems like the most exciting thing about this game. Not much else here, just a tree, another perspective of the city, and then the lighting. I'm assuming the shadows could be better, but is that it seems like a mix between Arceus and Sword and Shield, graphical wise. And then this. I wonder if this is another perspective of the building that we saw at the start that leads up to the what I assume is the Pokemon Research Lab with the big Dratini fountain. Because if it is, we must be rich. We must be so rich if we have a Dratini fountain. That'd be so cool. Again, it does. I do like the whole exotic feel of this game. But if this is our house, it could also be the other way around. This could be the Pokemon Research Lab, and the other building we see is our house. That could also be a thing, but they both look very big, so we can do with that as we will. But this seems more like a research lab because of the windows and then a big window on top, so we might be the other way around. But we'll have to see, and I don't assume we will have a building this big with a Dratini fountain as a house of one of the main protagonists, so this might be the research lab. I'm not sure. And then the other building will be the main house. We will see. And now, of course, we have this giant Pokeball that was on the roof of this big building. Looking again at the architecture of this building seems a bit weird because, I don't know, everything looks so exotic and then this looks very industrial to me. Very modern, electrical. Seems like there's big antennas on top of these, and these look like a very specific metal type, which seems industrial again. But then again, this is the only thing to me that says industrial, while all the other stuff says exotic and southern, so it might be interesting. And then you wonder why there is a giant Pokemon ball. Maybe this is like a main gym or a main tournament ground, or maybe this is the Pokemon League and they just show it in the reveal trailer, which would be strange, but I assume possible. Again, from another perspective, it has like a big observatory to the right over there. I would show you what it was, but it's like the arrow shows up. So this looks like an observatory connected to the thing, and then we have the big window that also looks like a screen underneath the Pokeball, so they might have it as the big tournament area, and then this is where all the people gather to watch the tournament that can't get inside, and they watch it on the big screen, sort of like a soccer game. And then again, if you can tell, this whole building looks so southern, and you have these roofs, these sharp roofs that look so industrial to me, which is strange. So I wonder what this is all about. But then of course we have the observatory as well, which also looks like a industrial sort of thing. We'll have to find out. There's not much I can think of seeing these two next to each other. And then of course we have this Lucario doing a ability, and then you can see the effects on the ability, which look amazing. Then again, we also have like these little pikes on the ground. You're in the water, which I assume is water, and then we have these spikes that come out of it. Are they of value? Are they important to the story? We will figure it out, I assume. But the main thing we have to look in here is the texture that is on Lucario, which is very detailed, very nice looking, and then the spell effects is what I'm calling them right now, because these look really great, really nice. So if all the battles in this game are like this, reason to get excited. And then again we have the Magnemite, again looking at the texture and the shine on this Magnemite. The textures of the Pokemon certainly seem to be improved. And then we also have like this big tower sort of lighthouse thing, which I wonder we can get on top of. It's open world, so if we can do whatever we please, that would be nice. Also seems to be something over here, which is a bit hard to tell what it might be, but it might be something special. And let's hope we can get on top. Okay, then we have the Pokemon which I can't figure out the name of right now. Tyranitar? No, Tyranitar is its evolved form. I'm not going to. I'm too excited to talk about the Pokemon. Again, the texture looks pretty okay, but then I'm a bit worried about the caves again. The caves look a bit more detailed than they do in Arceus, but they still seem relatively empty, which might be an issue, but they are already more detailed than in Arceus, which is a good thing, I assume. It didn't bother me much playing Arceus, but I know a lot of people didn't like how the caves looked. So this seemed like an improvement, but it seems too quickly to say anything about it because it's too soon for them to get feedback on Arceus and then switch it around in Generation 9. So Looks okay, I suppose. Then the Survivor, which is okay, it's fun. We haven't seen Survivor for a while. I mean, I haven't seen Survivor for a while. It's a pretty decent Pokemon. And again, as you can see, very detailed texture. On Survivor, you can even see the scales, which is a major thing. You can just run around and you can meet a Survivor like this, I'd be scared. It looks very detailed, very nice looking, so let's hope they keep the textures up during battles as well. And as you get further away from the Pokemon and they don't get in frame as much, hope they don't lose detail as they get in the background, but we'll have to see how that works. Probably going to follow it up as soon as it gets new information, because I am very excited about this game. But yeah, very good looking Survivor. Not much else to tell here except for the cliffs again. Seems like a very high relief, or what, I'm not sure what to call it in English, but it seems like you have a lot of geology, I don't know, difference in height. That's what we'll call that. And we just wonder if you can get up there with, like, for example, a flying Pokemon or a Pokemon that climbs and there's like a big cave on top or something. The whole open world thing, except especially because they put so much detail in describing it as an open world, it seems. I mean, let's hope they don't mess it up. Okay. Again, it seems like it's the entryway to the big city. Again, with the fruit trees and then the Pokemon again. This seems to have lost a lot of detail. The textures on the grass don't look great from this close-up as well, but I mean, who's looking at the grass from this close-up? So that might be nice. And then here we can see the stone type they use is like basically the same as the other building, so. We have a trainer. On the screenshot, it seems like there is a lot of people running around in the city, which is also a good thing, because in other Pokemon games, a lot of the cities or the villages felt empty. Thinking like about the bigger cities and like the newer generations, like in X and Y, the big city with the electricity gyms. I don't know, it feels very empty when you run around. And as you can see in the screenshot, on the staircase over here, there's so many people walking around. Of course, it might not be in-game footage, but if they actually fill up the villages or the cities, I mean, it feels nice. It feels more alive, to be honest. We have a Pikachu. Not much else to tell here. Again, here, if you look at the staircase, it seems like in the background it loses a lot of detail. But this might also be because of the resolution of the picture, I'm not sure. And you can see the background as well on the rocks that are used as the building structure, foundation. I mean, it loses a lot of detail when it's not in focus, which makes sense, but it can be bad as well. Here we just have Pikachu. Not much else on this Pikachu. And then we have a young person behind the Pikachu that is holding something, but I'm unable to tell what it is. Okay, I did like this shot. Just another way to look into the city, I assume. And then we have the big building on top of the staircases, but the Swablu on the line, it just makes my day. It looks so funny. These people are looking down, looking up on those two Swablu like, oh, there they are again. And again, on this screenshot, it looks like you can get inside of these buildings and use them as shops. So will they actually have an interior for every single building in the city? Because that would be pretty impressive. Because it seems very big. But this does look like you have access to them and you can gain entry to these shops or stores. So, interesting. Not much else here. Again, with more people in the plaza, making the city feel more alive. Okay, then over here we have the little beach biome. Again, with the detail they lose in the background, we have Pelipper's, and then these, which I can't figure out the name of right now. But not much else on there. Between the two rocks there seems like it'd be a bigger rock, which might be something, but otherwise just, I don't know, a good looking area. Okay, then this is also interesting, like the big desert area which we saw in the trailer. seems interesting to me because the whole atmosphere seems very southern and like a lot of sun and water, and you wonder where this big desert will be. You have a big island completely covered in coastline. Where would there be a desert area? Except that means you can go back to other areas. I mean, maybe we can get 2 different regions in one game again, as we used to get a long time ago. Because I really wouldn't know where they would fit a desert biome in a southern climate that is very tropical. So I'm intrigued to see what that will be. This might also be part of the story, like something of an imagination or a specific dimension you enter, thinking out very far and wide. But in my personal preference, I would prefer it being another area, which means we have 2 regions we can visit in one game. Maybe there's a specific region for Violet and a specific region for what was the other one called? Oh, I forgot. That both of the games have a different region that are specific to that type of game, and you might be able to cross over them. I mean, it's interesting. We'll have to see where it goes, but this seems intriguing to me. Then we have a Meowth. Not sure what they try to show off here again, except for this, I assume, is a route you would go to get to the next city, which looks like a wild area and Sword and Shield, which is nice. And then, of course, the day and night cycle that we have been seeing in most of the other games now, which is also a really good thing. Doesn't look like anything special on that Meowth. Again, with the loss of detail in the grass sprites, but we'll have to see how it plays. So this is basically the same Meowth, I would assume, just walking down the route, and I assume this is just a whole route you can take because it has the signposts, which probably lead to different villages, which, if it is an open world game, is actually quite a good thing that you have signposts that will show you where to go, because there's not a main progress line you can follow, so that might be intriguing. And then again, we have a big coastal area over there with a big lake in the middle, and then the cliffs again, which seems like another wild area, so we'll have to see how it plays out. But it does look very nice, very lush and very green. Okay, this probably wants to show off the fact that they have a weather cycle, which I'm sure a lot of games already have, but maybe they put a lot of more work in it, a lot more detail in it. And maybe because it's showing specifically Psyduck running around in the rain, maybe certain weather specifications have to be met for some Pokemon to spawn in the routes or in the big wild areas, which is what we're going to call them because that's what they were called in Sword and Shield. So that might be something they show off here, not much else. But I mean, sure, if you have a day and night cycle, add a weather cycle again, and then, I mean, make specific Pokemon spawns for specific weather types. Why not? That seems cool. You go. Yeah, because as you can tell here, we have the big sun again, and then most of the Pokemon here are like more grassy, more warm Pokemon, except we have like the tiny people over here. And again, it's the Mediterranean area, so I really wonder how this desert area will work. Will it be a different region we can visit? Will it be a different dimension? We'll have to see. Now we have the windmills. And this probably also shows off the fact that the Pokemon actually are flying in the air as well. We got the Hoppip flying around. So, I mean, that is intriguing as well. Will you be able to catch the Pokemon that are swimming in the water or flying in the sky like you do in Arceus? I mean, that seems like a very cool way to add Pokemon to your Pokemon team in a mainstream Pokemon game. If that is the case, very realistic, I would say. So by all means, go ahead. And again, we have from a different perspective. The area looks really genuine and very, I mean, not out of the ordinary specifically, but it seems like a lot of variation. There are a lot of really flat areas, and there is a lot of very hilly areas, which is shown around here. And there's a bit of a weird thing that I want to mention over here. You can see where my cursor is heading. It seems like, I mean, it might be because of the resolution, or it might be a reflection of something. It seems like to be a portal or something, because there seems to be like a bench or a sort of statue down there, and then this looks like a, I don't know, some sort of portal or gateway to something. Maybe this will be the entry point to the desert area. I don't know. Enter the desert ruins here or something. I don't know, but this, I don't know, it might just be the picture, and it might be a trick of the eye, but this does look like a portal to another dimension or another world, to the Hisui region or something. I don't know, but exciting, very exciting. And the whole, I know I mentioned it before and I said it a lot, but it's the whole open world theme to me seems very intriguing. Can you imagine getting a flying Pokemon in an open world? You can be right next to the windmill, and then you just take your flying Pokemon, you fly all the way to the other hills over there. That sounds so cool. Will they add it? We will see. But that would be awesome. Okay, the flying Pokemon again, showing off that they have Pokemon in the sky as well. Okay, we have the day and night cycle. The fog effect is very nice looking. That is, will it be a weather specific sort of visual thing? I don't know, but it looks really nice. Maybe it's just a night cycle that this specific area turns very cold on a specific time. But if they add these fog effects to everything, then this game will look absolutely amazing. Okay, the night cycle again. The lush area. Not much else to see, unless I'm missing something. And then we have another overlook. Game footage is not final, obviously. Again, with the whole region looks so cool. You have like these different hills and different islands. These look like there will be like a giant waterfall going down to the bigger ocean. I mean, the whole region looks absolutely fantastic. Can you imagine you surf on a surf Pokemon, you're just scouting around on the lake, and then you just see waterfall, you use waterfall, and you actually scale down a waterfall in an open world game? How cool would that be? So, we'll have to see. Very intriguing, that's what I would call it. Has a nice looking rainbow. This is a pretty decent imagery, I assume. You have the big overview of the landscape with the hills. We seem to have like a snowy sort of icy tundra area over there on the top of that hill where the rainbow leads up to, with the big wild areas in the front, then the big main city, which I'll assume is the center point of this game. And then we have another interesting thing. In between these hills here, there seems to be a building, which seems interesting. I would assume this plays a specific role in the storyline, because this seems like a special headquarters or something. Will it be an evil team HQ? It might be. Hidden around in the hills, but this looks intriguing as well. And we haven't seen this in detail or close up in the trailer, I'm pretty sure. So this is also interesting to see where that would lead. And this, I assume, this will be just the main city that you can go to, which will be the center point of the whole area. And then a starter Pokemon again. So, is that all the pictures we have, or do we have more? Yeah, okay, so that's all the pictures we have. So again, this whole idea of an open world Pokemon game with a region that looks like this seems like a really nice twist on the Pokemon genre to me, but we'll have to see how it turns out. I'm a bit scared because it looks so promising, yet it will be released relatively soon, even though the remakes of Diamond and Pearl and Arceus have only recently released. So I'm a bit scared that they will rush things, which seems to be the case in a lot of companies lately. But if everything is going according to plan and they can put a gem like this on the market at the end of the year, I assume for the holiday, ready for the holiday season, because it seemed like the best business decision they could make. I mean, if they can pull it off, sure. But there are so many things that look absolutely amazing to me that I am very, very scared that they will rush it and there will be a lot of issues. If there are not, it'll be the greatest thing ever. And this might be, for a lot of people, one of their new favorite Pokemon games. And if this is a good one, and this is the future of the Pokemon games and the Pokemon universe, I will be sure that a lot of people will get very, very excited. But we'll have to see if everything works out the way it should. And that will be the end of this video. I will try to cover as more news gets released. I will try to cover it, but we'll have to see how it goes. At the very least, I am very excited, very intrigued, and I will follow this up closely. We'll find out if this will be the next gem in the Pokemon universe. Exciting times. Goodbye.